We know you sailed west, across the open ocean, and found land and plunder, as you promised. So, let no man say anymore that it is not possible. And we salute.
Ragnar Lothbrok came back from England with silver, gold, slaves, and proof. But the most valuable thing he brought home was not in a chest. It was not a cup. It was not a jewel. It was not a weapon. It was a terrified monk named Athelstan. And that is what makes this scene so important, because everyone else looked at the raid and saw treasure. Ragnar looked at the raid and saw a door to a bigger world, a door to power, a door to knowledge. And Athelstan was the key. Welcome back to the channel. Today we are breaking down the psychology of Ragnar choosing Athelstan in Vikings Season 1, Episode 3. This is not just a scene about a Viking taking a slave. This is about ambition, intelligence, curiosity, control, faith, culture shock, and the moment Ragnar proves he is not like the other men around him. Because when Earl Haraldson allows each man to choose one thing from the treasure, Ragnar does something strange. He does not choose gold. He does not choose silver. He does not choose something that can make him look rich. He chooses Athelstan. And in that choice, Ragnar reveals the difference between a raider and a ruler. A raider takes what shines. A ruler takes what teaches. Earl Haraldson takes the treasure. When Ragnar returns to Kattegat, he should be celebrated. He has done what others thought was impossible. He went west. He found land. He brought back proof that England is real, rich, and vulnerable. Vulnerable means open to danger or attack. But instead of rewarding him, Earl Haraldson takes control of the moment. He claims the treasure. He reminds everyone that power does not belong to the man who discovers something. Power belongs to the man who controls what happens after the discovery. That is political power. Political power means the ability to control people, resources, decisions, and rewards. Haraldson understands something very dangerous. Ragnar has not only brought back wealth, he has brought back belief. Before Ragnar sailed west, the West was only a rumor. After Ragnar returned, the West became real. And that makes Ragnar dangerous, because people do not follow leaders only because they are strong. They follow leaders because they can imagine a future with them. Ragnar has given them a future. Haraldson can feel that. So he takes the treasure to reduce Ragnar's victory. Reduce means to make something smaller or less powerful. But here is the problem. Haraldson can take the gold. He cannot take the idea, and Ragnar knows it. That is why Ragnar does not panic. He watches, he studies, he lets Haraldson think he has won. This is one of Ragnar's greatest strengths. He does not always fight power directly. Sometimes he lets power reveal its fear. Fear is the hidden emotion inside Haraldson's control. He is not angry only because Ragnar disobeyed him. He is afraid because Ragnar succeeded. Ragnar chooses Athelstan. Then comes the choice. Each man can take one thing. Most men would choose something obvious. Gold, silver, a beautiful object, something that proves they were part of the raid.
I will take the priest for my slave.
But Ragnar chooses the monk, Athelstan, and everyone can feel how strange that is, because to them, Athelstan looks weak. He is not a warrior. He does not carry an axe. He does not understand their gods. He does not belong in their world. But Ragnar sees something different. He sees information. Information means knowledge that can help you understand or control a situation. Athelstan knows the language. He knows England. He knows the churches. He knows the people. He knows the customs. He knows the structure of the world Ragnar has just discovered. Structure means the way something is organized. And this is why Ragnar is different. Other Vikings see England as a place to raid. Ragnar sees England as a place to understand. That difference is huge. A normal raider asks, "What can I take?" Ragnar asks, "How does this world work?" That question is what makes him dangerous, because greed can win one battle. Curiosity can build an empire. Curiosity means the strong desire to know, learn, or understand something. Ragnar's curiosity is not soft. It is not childish. It is strategic. Strategic means planned in a way that helps you win a bigger goal. He does not choose Athelstan because he feels sorry for him. He does not choose him because he is kind. He chooses him because Athelstan is a living map. A map with a voice. A map with fear. A map with memory. A map that can explain the West. Why this choice insults Haraldson? Ragnar choosing Athelstan is also a quiet insult to Earl Haraldson, because Haraldson thinks wealth is control. Ragnar proves knowledge is control. Haraldson takes the treasure because he wants to remind everyone that he owns the reward. But Ragnar takes the one thing Haraldson does not understand. That is the psychological victory. Psychological victory means winning in the mind before winning in public. Ragnar cannot openly challenge Haraldson yet. He does not have enough men. He does not have enough political support. He does not have the title. But he has something Haraldson lacks: vision. Vision means the ability to see what something can become before others understand it. Haraldson sees Athelstan as a useless Christian slave. Ragnar sees him as a bridge between two worlds, the Viking world and the Christian world, the pagan world and the English world, the world of axes and the world of books, the world of raids and the world of kingdoms. And that is why this moment matters, because Ragnar is not only collecting wealth, he is collecting understanding. And in a brutal world, understanding can be more dangerous than a sword. Athelstan as a mirror. Athelstan also becomes something deeper for Ragnar. He becomes a mirror. Mirror means something that reflects a hidden part of someone back to them. Athelstan is everything Ragnar is not. Ragnar is violent. Athelstan is peaceful. Ragnar is pagan. Athelstan is Christian. Ragnar is curious about the outside world. Athelstan has been forced into a world he does not understand. Ragnar moves toward danger. Athelstan is dragged into it. But this contrast is what makes their connection powerful. Contrast means a strong difference between two things. Ragnar does not only want Athelstan's facts. He wants his mind. He wants to know how this monk thinks, how he believes, how he fears, how he explains the world. Because Ragnar is not satisfied with simple answers. He is surrounded by people who think in one direction: raid, fight, obey, sacrifice, revenge. But Athelstan brings another way of seeing life, and Ragnar is fascinated by that. Fascinated means deeply interested or attracted by something unusual. This is the beginning of one of the most important relationships in Vikings. Not because it starts with friendship. It does not. It starts with captivity. Captivity means being held by force and not being free. And that makes the relationship morally uncomfortable. Morally uncomfortable means something feels wrong, even if the story makes us understand why it happens. Ragnar saves Athelstan from immediate death, but he also owns him. He protects him, but he controls him. He asks questions, but Athelstan cannot simply leave. That tension is important. Tension means emotional pressure between two opposing truths. Ragnar is both Athelstan's captor and his student. Athelstan is both Ragnar's prisoner and his teacher. That is why their relationship feels complicated from the beginning. The farm. Culture shock. When Ragnar brings Athelstan home, the farm becomes a battlefield without weapons. Not a battlefield of swords, a battlefield of belief. Belief means what a person accepts as true. Athelstan enters Ragnar's home as a stranger. He does not understand their customs. He does not understand their gods. He does not understand their family habits. He does not understand their comfort with things he considers sinful. This is culture shock. Culture shock means the confusion or fear someone feels when they enter a completely different way of life. For Ragnar's family, Athelstan is strange. For Athelstan, Ragnar's family is frightening. And this is where the episode becomes more than a raid story. Because Vikings is not only showing two groups fighting, it is showing two worlds looking at each other. Athelstan thinks the Vikings are savages. Savage means violent, wild, or uncivilized. But the Vikings do not see themselves that way. They have families. They have laws. They have gods. They have loyalty. They have love. They have rules of honor. And this is where Athelstan's mind begins to crack. Crack means to weaken or break under pressure. Because if the Vikings were only monsters, hating them would be easy. But they are not only monsters. They laugh. They eat. They protect their children. They love their homes. And that makes Athelstan's fear more complicated. Complicated means not simple, because many truths exist at the same time. The same people who destroyed his monastery can also sit around a table like a family. The same man who captured him can also ask him questions like a student. The same world that terrifies him can also invite him to understand it. That is psychological confusion. Psychological confusion means the mind struggling because reality does not match what it expected. The meaning of dispossessed. The title of the episode is important. Dispossessed. Dispossessed means having something taken away from you. Land, home, power, freedom, identity. And almost every major character in this episode is dispossessed in some way. Athelstan loses his monastery, his freedom, and his old life. Ragnar loses the treasure he risked his life to win. Haraldson feels his authority being taken by Ragnar's success. Lagertha is threatened in her own home while Ragnar is away. Even Kattegat itself feels like a place where old power is starting to weaken. That is why the episode is not only about what people gain. It is about what they lose, and what they become after the loss. Loss reveals character. Reveal means to show something hidden. When Haraldson feels control slipping, he becomes more controlling. When Athelstan loses his world, he clings to faith. When Ragnar loses treasure, he takes knowledge. That is the difference. Most people react to loss by trying to replace what was taken. Ragnar reacts to loss by finding something more valuable. That is why he chooses Athelstan. He understands that treasure can be spent, but knowledge can multiply. Multiply means to grow or increase. Ragnar's quiet rebellion. Ragnar choosing Athelstan is also rebellion, not loud rebellion. Quiet rebellion. Quiet rebellion means resisting power without openly declaring war. Haraldson wants Ragnar to feel small. He wants him to accept that all rewards pass through the Earl. But Ragnar refuses to think small. He takes the one thing that can help him return west. He takes the one thing that can make the next raid smarter. He takes the one thing that can make him less dependent on guesswork. Guesswork means making decisions without enough knowledge. And this is why Haraldson should have been more afraid, because Ragnar did not choose treasure like a hungry man. He chose information like a future king. That is the true warning sign. Ragnar is not satisfied with winning once. He wants to understand how to win again. And men like Haraldson are always threatened by men like Ragnar, because old power survives by controlling access. Access means the ability to reach or use something. Haraldson controls ships, he controls permission, he controls punishment, he controls reward. But Ragnar has found a new access point, the West, and Athelstan helps him open it. Final psychological breakdown. So why did Ragnar choose Athelstan instead of treasure? Because Ragnar was not thinking like the other Vikings. He was thinking beyond the room, beyond the Earl, beyond Kattegat, beyond the first raid. Gold could make him richer for a moment. Athelstan could make him smarter forever. Gold could impress men. Athelstan could explain kingdoms. Gold could be taken by Haraldson. Knowledge could live inside Ragnar's mind. And that is the real psychological power of this scene. Ragnar understands that the future belongs to the person who learns fastest. The other men came home with objects. Ragnar came home with a new way of seeing the world. And that is why this moment is not just about slavery, treasure, or reward. It is about the birth of Ragnar's next transformation. Transformation means a deep change in who someone is or what they are becoming. Before Athelstan, Ragnar is already ambitious. After Athelstan, Ragnar becomes more dangerous, because ambition with knowledge is far more powerful than ambition with violence alone. Violence can open a door. Knowledge tells you what is behind it, and Ragnar wants to know what is behind every door. That is why he chooses the monk, not because Athelstan is weak, but because Athelstan knows things strong men do not. Not because Ragnar is merciful, but because Ragnar is intelligent. Not because he rejects treasure, but because he understands a greater treasure, the treasure of language, the treasure of culture, the treasure of belief, the treasure of strategy, the treasure of the future. And that is what Earl Haraldson fails to understand. He thinks he has taken Ragnar's victory, but Ragnar has taken something better. He has taken the key to the west, and once Ragnar holds that key, Kattegat will never be the same again. So what do you think? Did Ragnar choose Athelstan because he saw him as a tool, a teacher, or something deeper from the very beginning? Tell me your thoughts in the comments. And if you enjoyed this Vikings psychological breakdown, subscribe to the channel for more character analysis, hidden meanings, and powerful scene breakdowns.